Okay, this is case number 2018 CA 5321, Jack Kowalski, et cetera, et al. Versus Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. I've been handed a note from the jury that reads as follows. We have reached a verdict. Do the attorneys wish to look at the note?
Not on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and file that with the clerk. Are there any issues we need to address before we bring in the jury?
Not on behalf of plaintiff, Your Honor.
Not from the defense. Disregard.
Do the parties need any moments to talk with each other before we bring them back?
I don't think so, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. For the folks here in the courtroom, I would ask that as this verdict is read, it's going to take a while to read the verdict, but as the verdict is read, I would ask that we not have any sort of audible or visual reaction. So please keep your emotions in check. At this point, let's bring in this jury.
All rise. Jurors enter.
Okay, please be seated. Okay, members of the jury, welcome back. I have been told, or I've received a note from you that you have reached a verdict. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can the foreperson hand the verdict form to the court deputy who will bring it to me? You're going to ask the clerk to publish the verdict, please.
In the 12th Judicial Circuit in and for Sarasota County, Florida, case number 2018 CA 005321NC. Jack Kowalski, individually, Jack Kowalski as parent and next friend of MK, a minor, and Jack Kowalski as personal representative of the estate of Beata Kowalski plaintiffs versus Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital Incorporated defendant. Verdict form. We, the jury, return the following verdict. Claim 1, false imprisonment, October 7th through October 13th, 2016, Maya Kowalski. 1, did Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital falsely imprison Maya Kowalski without legal authority under circumstances that were unreasonable and unwarranted between October 7th and October 13th, 2016? Yes. 2, what is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for the medical and psychological expenses to be incurred in the future after she reaches the age of 18 based on the false imprisonment occurring between October 7th and October 13th, 2016? $2,496,000. 3, what is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for payment suffering, mental anguish, inconvenience, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life sustained in the past and to be sustained in the future based on the false imprisonment occurring between October 7th and October 13th, 2016? $3 million. 4, what is the reasonable value or expense of hospitalization and medical, psychological, and nursing care and treatment necessarily or reasonably obtained by Jack Kowalski for his child, Maya Kowalski, in the past or to be so obtained in the future until Maya Kowalski reaches the age of 18, based on the false imprisonment occurring between October 7th and October 13th, 2016. $67,200. 5, under the circumstances of this case, state whether you find by clear and convincing evidence that punitive damages are warranted for the false imprisonment occurring between October 7th and October 13th, 2016. Yes. Claim 1, false imprisonment, October 18th through October 20th, 2016, Maya Kowalski. 6, did Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital falsely imprison Maya Kowalski without legal authority under circumstances that were unreasonable and unwarranted between October 18th and October 20th, 2016? Yes. 7, what was the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for medical and psychological expenses to be incurred in the future after she reaches the age of 18, based on the false imprisonment occurring between October 18th and October 20th, 2016? $1,400,000. 8, what is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering, mental anguish, inconvenience, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life sustained in the past and to be sustained in the future based on the false imprisonment occurring between October 18th and October 20th, 2016? $3 million. 9, what is the reasonable value or expense of hospitalization and medical, psychological, and nursing care and treatment necessarily or reasonably obtained by Jack Kowalski for his child, Maya Kowalski, in the past or to be so obtained in the future until Maya Kowalski reaches the age of 18, based on the false imprisonment occurring between October 18th and October 20th, 2016? $561,298. 10, under the circumstances of this case, state whether you find by clear and convincing evidence that punitive damages are warranted for the false imprisonment occurring between October 18th and October 20th, 2016? Yes. Claim 1, false imprisonment, January 6th, 2017, Maya Kowalski. 11, did Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital falsely imprison Maya Kowalski without legal authority under circumstances that were unreasonable and unwarranted on January 6th, 2017? Yes. 12, what is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for medical and psychological expenses to be incurred in the future after she reaches the age of 18, based on the false imprisonment occurring on January 6th, 2017? $188,000. 13, what is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering, mental anguish, inconvenience, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life sustained in the past and to be sustained in the future, based on the false imprisonment occurring on January 6th, 2017? $15 million. 14, what is the reasonable value or expense of hospitalization and medical, psychological, and nursing care and treatment necessarily or reasonably obtained by Jack Kowalski for his child, Maya Kowalski, in the past or to be so obtained in the future until Maya Kowalski reaches the age of 18, based on the false imprisonment occurring on January 6th, 2017? $325,000. 15, under the circumstances of this case, state whether you find by clear and convincing evidence that punitive damages are warranted for the false imprisonment occurring on January 6, 2017? Yes. Claim 2, battery, January 6, 2017, Maya Kowalski. 16, did Catherine Beatty and any bedside nurse commit a battery on Maya Kowalski on January 6, 2017? Yes. 17, what is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for psychological treatment incurred in the future after she reaches the age of 18, based on a battery occurring on January 6, 2017. $4 million. 18, what is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering, disability, physical impairment, mental anguish, inconvenience, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life sustained in the past and to be sustained in the future, based on the battery occurring on January 6, 2017? $8 million. 19, what is the reasonable value or expense of hospitalization and medical, psychological, and nursing care and treatment necessarily or reasonably obtained by Jack Kowalski for his child, Maya Kowalski, in the past or to be so obtained in the future until Maya Kowalski reaches the age of 18, based on the battery occurring on January 6, 2017? $559,000. 20, under the circumstances of this case, state whether you find by clear and convincing evidence that punitive damages are warranted for the battery occurring on January 6, 2017. Yes. Claim 2, battery, hugs, pats, kisses, and placing on lap, Maya Kowalski. 21, did Catherine Beatty commit one or more batteries on Maya Kowalski through hugging, patting, kissing, and placing Maya Kowalski on her lap? Yes. 22, what is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for psychological treatment incurred in the future after she reaches the age of 18, based on Catherine Beatty's hugging, patting, kissing, and placing Maya Kowalski on her lap? $8 million. 23, what is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering, disability, physical impairment, mental anguish, inconvenience, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life sustained in the past and to be sustained in the future, based on Catherine Beatty's hugging, patting, kissing, and placing Maya Kowalski on her lap? $11 million. 24, what is the reasonable value or expense of hospitalization and medical, psychological, and nursing care and treatment necessarily or reasonably obtained by Jack Kowalski for his child, Maya Kowalski, in the past or to be so obtained in the future until Maya Kowalski reaches the age of 18, based on Catherine Beatty's hugging, patting, kissing, and placing Maya Kowalski on her lap? $1,000. Claim 3, medical negligence, Maya Kowalski. 25, was Dr. Sally Smith an apparent agent of Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital at the time and place of any treatment she provided to Maya Kowalski? Yes. 26, was Dr. Sally Smith negligent in the medical care of Maya Kowalski? And was that negligence a legal cause of loss, injury, or damage to Maya Kowalski? Yes. 27, excluding and not considering the conduct of Dr. Sally Smith, were one or more healthcare providers negligent in the medical care of Maya Kowalski at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital? And was their negligence a legal cause of loss, injury, or damage to Maya Kowalski? Yes. 28, what is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for lost earnings in the past, loss of earning capacity in the future, medical, psychological, and nursing care and treatment expenses to be incurred in the future? $4,700,000. 29, what is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering, disability or physical impairment, mental anguish, inconvenience, aggravation of a disease or physical defect, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life sustained in the past and to be sustained in the future? $22 million. Claim 4, fraudulent billing for Mr. Kowalski. 30, did All Children's Hospital fraudulently misrepresent a material matter in its invoices to Jack Kowalski or his insurers? Yes. 31, did Jack Kowalski or his insurance company rely to their detriment on the fraudulent misrepresentation you found in answer to question 30? Yes. 32, what is the total amount of Jack Kowalski's damages for any deductibles or co-pays incurred as a result of Maya Kowalski's sheltering at Johns Hopkins, or increases in the cost of insurance coverage in the past or in the future, including increased premiums, co-pays, and higher deductibles? $3 million. 33, what is the total amount of Jack Kowalski's damages for the difficulty of finding insurance in the future? $2 million. Claim 5, survivor claim for the intentional infliction of emotional distress in the estate of Beata Kowalski. 34, did Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, through the acts of its employees, engage in extreme and outrageous conduct, intending that conduct to cause or with reckless disregard of the high probability of causing severe emotional distress to Beata Kowalski prior to her death? Yes. 35. What is the total amount of Beata Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering or mental anguish caused by the extreme emotional distress prior to her death on January 7, 2017? $3 million. Claim 6, wrongful death claim for intentional infliction of emotional distress causing death in the estate of Beata Kowalski. 36, the Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, through the acts of its employees, engage in extreme and outrageous conduct, intending that conduct to cause or with reckless disregard of the high probability of causing severe emotional distress to Beata Kowalski that was sufficient to be a legal cause of Beata Kowalski's death by suicide? Yes. 37, did the conduct that you found in question 36 create in Beata Kowalski an uncontrollable impulse to die by suicide? Yes. 38, was the conduct that you found in question 36 a substantial factor in Beata Kowalski's death by suicide? Yes. Question 39 addresses damages of the estate. What is the total amount of any damages sustained by the estate for loss of net accumulations? $653,676. Question 40 and 41 address damages of surviving spouse Jack Kowalski. 40, what is the amount of any damages sustained by Jack Kowalski for the loss of Beata Kowalski's support and services and funeral expenses resulting from Beata Kowalski's death paid by Jack Kowalski? $18 million. 41, what is the total amount of damages sustained by Jack Kowalski for the loss of his wife's companionship and protection and for his pain and suffering as a result of Beata Kowalski's death? $50 million. Number 42, what is the total amount of damages sustained by Maya Kowalski for the loss of Beata Kowalski's support and services? $2 million. 43, what is the total amount of damages sustained by Maya Kowalski for the loss of parental companionship, instruction and guidance, and Maya Kowalski's pain and suffering as a result of Beata Kowalski's injury and death? $18 million. Question 44 and 45 address the survivor damages of Kyle Kowalski. 44, what is the total amount of damages sustained by Kyle Kowalski for the loss of Beata Kowalski's support and services? $2 million. 45, what is the total amount of damages sustained by Kyle Kowalski for the loss of parental companionship, instruction, and guidance, and Kyle Kowalski's pain and suffering as a result of Beata Kowalski's injury and death? $18 million. Claim 7, intentional infliction of emotional distress, Maya Kowalski. 46, the Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, through the acts of its employees, engage in extreme and outrageous conduct, intending that conduct to cause or with reckless disregard of the high probability of causing severe emotional distress to Maya Kowalski? Yes. 47. What is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for lost earnings in the past, loss of earning capacity in the future, medical expenses incurred in the past, and medical expenses to be incurred in the future? $3 million. 48. What is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering, disability or physical impairment, mental anguish, inconvenience, aggravation of a disease or physical defect, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life sustained in the past and to be sustained in the future? $7,500,000. So say we all, this 9th day of November, 2023, four-person.
Hand me back the verdict form, please. Do the attorneys wish to inspect the verdict form?
Yes.
Please come, well, counsel, please come forward if you wish to inspect the verdict form. Mr. Anderson, did you also want to see it?
I looked over the shoulder.
Thank you. Does either the plaintiffs or the defense wish to poll the jury? Madam Clerk, please poll the jury and use juror numbers as opposed to names.
Juror number 1, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror number 17, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 19, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror number 93, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror number 97, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
And juror number 98, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
May I see the attorneys up here for just a moment, please?
I'm going to need a calculator for this one. Get out the calculator. Yeah, it was, there were different categories of allegations, and each allegation, for each allegation, you had the actual damages, then there's pain and suffering, past and future, loss of past and future earnings. There were so many different categories for each allegation. Where's my calculator? Here we go. So 10, 5, 8, 18, 50, 20, 12.559, 19.001 plus 26.7, $184,760,000. And I could be wrong on that calculation. That's just, wow. Wow. Now, some of that money is going to go into the estate of Beata Kowalski, and then it'll pass through the estate back and then to the children. But a lot of that money is going
Okay, members of the jury, your service is not yet complete based on the questions that you answered. We're going to move into phase 2 of this case. My goal is to try to start phase 2
I agree,
about
Kat.
2:30
That would
this
be my
afternoon.
priority.
So I'm going to give you all a few minutes to go stretch your legs. You cannot discuss this case further amongst yourselves. You cannot get any further information, and you cannot do any research. Do not review any media accounts of this case. Do not let anyone approach you about this case. Do we all understand that?
Yes.
Okay, and have them back at 2:30.
Yes, sir. All rise. Do as I say.
So I let me tell you what that's about. Hold on. So because they awarded, or they said yes to punitive damages, they now have to go back and decide punitive damages. I think each side gets to make an argument in front of the jury about the punitive damages. Let's see what the judge is going to say here. Wonder how the families with similar experiences are feeling about this all. The ones that signed the paper when they left the hospital. Yeah. There are some of those people in the courtroom, by the way. I've seen them there. I'm looking. I don't know if they were there for the verdict, because there was a lot of waiting around, so they may not be there. Now, what did I say? 184 times 0.40. That means that's 184 minus $73 million for the lawyers. So plus their costs. They have to pay all of those experts that they put on the stand, the cost of having things transcribed, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to say probably at least $1 million in costs, at least. So after that, you're looking at about, a little over 100 million, plus whatever they get in punitive damages. So the punitive damages, I'm really curious to find out. This is all going to be appealed, because there are they're in Florida, and Florida legislature doesn't like these large verdicts. So I don't know what they're going to do. There used to be that if you went against, I don't think Johns Hopkins is a public hospital, so I don't think it applies. But if you sued at a public hospital in Florida, you would never get this much money because there are caps on that. So I don't know. I'm sure they will appeal, though. Wow. She needs a haircut. She should go get a haircut in a new house. That's how it works. Lawyers' fees are, that's how it works. You know, that's those plaintiff lawyers, you know, it's a risk that they take. They could have ended up with nothing. They could have ended up with $1, and then they would have got no attorney's fees. Well, they could, I don't know. This is weird. But actually, even if they got $1, they could ask for attorney's fees. They'd have to get them from the defense. Hi, Tootsie. What's going on? Hi, baby girl. So, all right, we're back to the exit sign. I will remove that and go to there. It's nice to see everybody, though. Hi, Emma and Rhonda and Kat and Lisa and whoever else is watching out there. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up on your way in or out today. So the jury is going to go to lunch. They're going to come back at 2:30. And what I believe will happen then, if I'm not mistaken, is each side gets to do like an argument in front of the jury about punitive damages. Hi, Sarah. Well, Sarah, you came into a big verdict. Huge, huge verdict. But I can just go over it a little bit and talk about, I'm very surprised. Wow. Well, I'm not very surprised. I just didn't think they would give him that much. I am curious about what they're going to give him for the punitives. So on the false imprisonment, the first false imprisonment was from the date of her admission on October 7th until the 15th, when she became sheltered by the Department of Children and Families. So Johns Hopkins was only responsible for those days. After that, that's DCF. So they were awarded, the jury, sorry, said, yes, she was falsely imprisoned during that time frame. And they awarded her, oh, I don't know if I included this. I probably, see, I told you I did my math wrong. $2,496,000. And then said that her past pain and suffering was $3 million. Hospital care for past and future through the age of 18 is $67,200 because she's already 17. Now, I don't know what she's going to do for the next 6 months to spend $67,000 on medicals, but I don't know, maybe go to Mexico for a ketamine coma. I don't know. Then the second false imprisonment is from the October 18th through the 20th, when they put her into the EEG room, and the jury said, yes, that they considered that false imprisonment. And so the award on that was for future medicals between now and the time she turns 18, $1.4 million. Pain and suffering, $3 million. And past and future, future medicals after 18 was $1.4 million. Before 18 is $561,298. And they said, yes, punitive damages on both those false imprisonment charges. Then the third false imprisonment charge happened on January 6th. And I'm not sure what that had to do with, because that's the day her mom committed suicide. I don't know. But she got an award for that. Then there was the battery. There was a couple of battery counts that they awarded on. The first one was when Kathy Beatty and the nurses held her down to photograph her. The jury awarded her For future medicals, $4 million. For the past or future medicals until she gets to the age of 18, $559,000. Pain and suffering, $8 million because they held her down and photographed her. Oh my God. This next one I have a hard time with because Kathy Beatty allegedly, they went down to the chapel and Kathy put her in her lap and was patting her and hugging her and kissing her. I mean, she was a young child. I mean, who wouldn't want to comfort a young child? Now, I would be afraid as a healthcare worker in a pediatric hospital about my actions. Do I touch this child? Do I comfort this child? I don't know. But they said, yes, that was a battery. They awarded her for future medical expenses, $8 million, past and future, or pain and suffering, $11 million, and future until she gets to 18, $1,000. $8 million because someone was trying to comfort you? That's the one I have a problem with, okay? But anyway, wow. And then the apparent agency argument, they bought it. The jury bought it. They said that, yes, Sally Smith was an apparent agent of the hospital. I talked about that on my show, how some of these people will go in the hospital and they have IDs that say John Hopkins, but they don't work for John Hopkins. Well, this is what Sally Smith did. Her ID said John Hopkins. So everyone thought she worked for John Hopkins. And then the jury said, yes, she committed negligence, acting as an apparent agent of the hospital. And they awarded her $4.7 million for the past and future earnings and medical expenses and pain and suffering, $22 million. Wow. And they had already settled with Sally Smith outside of this lawsuit. I don't know how much for, but I don't know. The fraudulent billing, this will all go to Jack. This is for his ability to find insurance for his daughter in the past and future. Total of $5 million. The intentional infliction of emotional distress as to Beata. In other words, how much distress they caused Beata. Did they cause Beata distress? Yes. Did it create an uncontrolled impulse for her to commit suicide? They said yes. Rhonda said, comforting is one thing. Didn't she want to be more of a mother? Yeah, I think she did. I think she was saying, she wanted to be her foster parent. I think there's no question about that. Tammy, hi. Wow, I was just there about an hour ago. No verdict. That's quick. They spent close to 17 hours total. And I think most of that was just figuring out the money. So just as to Beata, which goes to her estate, it was $653,676. That'll go to the estate of Beata Kowalski. Jack's damages were a total of $68 million. Maya's damages were $20 million. Kyle's were $20 million for the wrongful death of their mother. Jujubee, Kathy Beatty has previously been arrested and convicted of aggravated child abuse in 2007. This detail was not allowed to be heard by the jury. I don't think they needed to hear it. I don't. Yeah, because that's just crazy. Anyway, an intentional infliction of emotional distress for Maya for the outrageous conduct was another $10.5 million. So they're all at lunch celebrating, and they will be back in the courtroom at 2:30. Then they will start the punitive damages phase. I will watch this later on, and I will recap that for you later on. If they happen to come back with a verdict on punitive damages today, I will let you know. They are back in the courtroom. I don't know what they're doing. Let me just take a glance and see what they're doing in the courtroom. Probably nothing. Let's see. Let me turn the sound on. Hold on. Sound. Okay, just logistical things here. Okay, it's just logistical things. So they will be back after lunch. I'm not going to stay live till then. Like I said, I will recap for you and then come back and let you know what the punitive damages are going to be. Any questions, any thoughts, things you need me to answer? Tammy said, I thought they said this morning that intentional infliction was not a charge or in evidence. So how could they just put oh no, it was in there. Absolutely. Intentional infliction of emotional distress was one of the biggies. Yeah. I'm not sure what it was you heard, but no, that absolutely was in there. Several counts of it as to each different person. Maybe not Jack. But there was Jack or Kyle didn't have an intentional infliction of emotional distress count. Maya and Beata did. So they both were awarded money for that. The other thing I want to tell you, the judge is on the stand. But they're just doing logistical stuff. Okay. Yep. Okay. So that woman removed Maya from her hospital bed and took her to the hospital chapel, touched her and kissed her, and that's abuse and kidnapping. Ooh, Kat has an opinion. Apparently that's the way the jury saw it. Yeah. But I mean, think about being a healthcare worker. What are the limits now? Can you pick up a child and give them a hug if they're crying? If you have to tell them, hey, you're not allowed to go home for Christmas. Okay, the child's sitting there crying. Yeah, I don't know. Now, Kathy denies that it ever happened. She said it never happened. I think it probably did happen, but Kathy was the problem in this hospital. There was no oversight. Nobody knew what everybody was doing. Nobody. And if they did know, they weren't saying that they knew. They weren't telling anybody what they knew. Nobody went to administration and said, here's what Kathy's doing to this child, or, here, something's going on with this child. I think they didn't know. The administration wasn't being told. The administration, if they did know, wasn't telling the board of directors. I mean, there was a lot of things wrong here, and that hospital is going to get punished. Now, if you think they don't have the money to pay this, you'd be wrong. They do. They have that money. There's plenty of insurance. Every hospital has layers and layers upon layers upon layers of coverage for insurance. So they will get money, trust me. But like I said, it'll probably be negotiated down pending an appeal. So too many cooks in the kitchen. Yep. All right. I will, I'm going to be live at 5 p.m. Eastern on crafting a color and craft with Joanna, but my channel too. It'll be broadcast on my channel, so you don't have to go looking for it. I'll be live this afternoon for our Yumi Arts paint along, so you can see what the progress is on those paintings. Tammy says, my opinion, I have issues with this case in some ways. Yes, they can. I don't understand that they have videos saying mom was determined to give Maya the med, even though they knew how bad it was. I know. I don't know what this mom was thinking, to go, she jumped past all the stuff you should do before you get to ketamine, all the therapies and everything. She went right to the ketamine. So I don't know how the logistics work of dispersing funds. Oh, you're welcome, Sarah. Yeah, I have a problem with that too, Tammy. She was a nurse. She should have known how dangerous this is. But I will tell you that it is way more common now than it was back in 2015, 2016 for children to be treated with ketamine. It works, and it's not an opiate. There's no withdrawals. They are using it. In fact, Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital has a CRPS program now. What are they doing in this courtroom? Hold on. Let me just figure out what they're doing here. The guy that you see now, this little old guy here, I don't know his name. I apologize. He's their appellate attorney. Let me see what he's talking about here. Okay, they're they're arguing over how the punitive damage phase came about. So I'll summarize all that for you in a special episode tomorrow, where I go over the verdict. And if they come back, which I don't think the punitive damage verdict will come back today. If it does, it'll be late. So I will see you all this afternoon. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Do they get monies before all the appeals? No. Well, they can. You know, if they negotiate, it'll resolve the appeals. They can say, all right, we'll take this much if you agree to not appeal. Basically, it'll be a negotiation. In lieu, so they say, well, if you stop your appeal, it'll depend on how likely they think the appeal is going to be successful or not. If they think there's a chance they might have to retry this case, they may negotiate down quite a bit. Who knows? Because they don't want to try this case. It's very, very expensive to try these cases. So plus you got to get all these witnesses from all these places. And yeah, it's very, very, they don't want to do it again. All right. So I will see you guys tonight. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.